Welcome, Trailblazers. Today, we're gonna do a histology class. We're gonna talk about pancreas, and on a slide, they can look like random shapes when you see them for the first time. But once you know what to look for, they will become very predictable and you will be able to recognize them in every slide you look at. I'm Dr. Alexandra Żuraw. I'm a veterinary pathologist and digital pathology educator, and we're gonna be looking at digital pathology slides, not glass slides under the microscope. We're going to be navigating whole slide images, which mean we can zoom in, move, pan, and we're going to leverage this technology for our teaching today. So let me share my screen with you. The first organ that we're going to be looking at is going to be pancreas. What are we going to be looking here for? Lobular architecture. We're going to have exocrine, so-called acini. We're going to have islets of Langerhans. They're going to be pale clusters. You can, maybe on this magnification, you cannot appreciate, but in a second, we're going to appreciate. And we're going to have ducts. We have lobules. What are lobules? Lobules are clusters of cells, and often they are surrounded by connective tissue. So from far away, like for example, if like we know what the lobule is, where would that be? Right here is something that like separates a cluster of cells. Another one, right? Another one. So you can see that this is like a bunch of small parts together. A bunch of small, I don't know what another word for lobule to use. Lobule is the word to use, but assemblies, let's call it assemblies. If you have a better word, let me know in the comments. Here is like this assembly of cells, right? And let's have a look at it, and we're gonna find these different types of cells in it. I'm going kind of slow so that it doesn't lag for you. And then in the lobes, we have lobules, and lobules are like smaller lobes. So let's have a look here. Okay, we're pretty high magnification, and you can see that most of these cells are these darker cells. Here when I'm moving my cursor, and then you have islets, you have these round areas like islands, so-called islets of pale cells. And I'm just talking about the appearance right now, right? So this is the exocrine pancreas, and this is so-called endocrine pancreas. And these lobules are separated, so these big lobules are separated by connective tissue. And look what we have here, real life example. This looks like a vein, is thin, and these two look like arteries, and we have red blood cells inside. But let's focus on our pancreas. Most of the cells are the dark cells. These are so-called acini, acinar cells, and acini are also like small assemblies of cells. You can see that they are together in these like groups, semi-round, like clumps, right? These are acini. The lobules are separated by connective tissue. We already showed that. And then we have the islets of Langerhans. This is the endocrine pancreas. This is where the hormones are being produced. So the dark ones, the acini, they produce digestive enzymes directly for the digestive tract. And that's why they are called exocrine, because they excrete to something external. Whereas these guys, the islets, are called endocrine. And endocrine, it produces hormones that go directly to the blood. And you can see that they are lighter. From far away, you can see that they are like clumps in the sea of these other acini. So as we said, most of the tissue is exocrine, giving support for digestion. And then we have these islets that produce insulin and glucagon, the hormones responsible in regulating the levels of sugar in the blood. When looking from far away at this slide, you will see lobules, connective tissue. Let me show you connective tissue outside. It looks pretty good. This is going to be the connective tissue. Exocrine, the pale ones are endocrine, but let's see what our histology guide has to say. Capsule, that's going to be the outside thing from connective tissue. Blood vessels we saw. Do we have any nerves? Do we see any nerves? Because they also say, oh, maybe just look, they're so good. They're amazing. So this is a nerve. They have all these places marked. Exocrine cells, These are our exocrine cells. We just looked at them extensively. They are arranged in acini. These are our acini. Then also we have pancreatic ducts. I think maybe this is ducts because this is an exocrine organ, so it needs ducts to distribute whatever it's producing to wherever it needs to go. So in this case, to the duodenum. This is where pancreas puts their digestive enzymes. Centroacinar cells. These are centroacinar cells. Okay, so the duct is located within the acinus. So the acinus, as you can see, has cells around, and then these cells produce their product into, like, to the inside, and then it goes to the ducts, and then the ducts get bigger, 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 and this, oh, you can see, I mean, we have some I don't know why we have blood here. I think it's just contamination in the preparation process, but you can beautifully see that the lining of this is not what we had for arteries and veins. Arteries and veins had a super flat lining, the endothelial cells, and then the tunica intima. These cells are flat, or like when they're contracted, they're wavy, but the thickness of the layer is small. Whereas here you can see that these are cuboidal. Cuboidal means they're like squarish, and I'm not referring to the nucleus. Nucleus is round or elongated, but the whole cell, if we were to draw something around the cell, it would be like a little square. So that tells you that even though on the slide here we have red blood cells inside, that this is not real. And there is a lot of this happening. The question is, can we see a difference in alpha and beta cells on H&E? I would think you need IHC for that. And let's see what they tell us here. They don't distinguish. I'm gonna check that, but I believe that this is not the case. You need an IHC marker, immunohistochemistry marker. No, you cannot generally distinguish them. You would need a marker, meaning you would need an antibody and do immunohistochemistry, which is a technique that lets you visualize different proteins on the surface of the cell. Recap: for pancreas, we have lobules, acini, we have exocrine dark cells and endocrine light cells arranged in these islets of Langerhans. And so, as I told you at the beginning, technology that lets us look at these slides like that, let us upload the slides, is called digital pathology. And if you want to learn more about digital pathology, I have a book about that. It's called Digital Pathology One-on-One. All you need to know to start and continue your digital pathology journey. If you would like this book, there is a free PDF version that I'm going to put on the screen right now. You can scan the code and you're going to get the PDF delivered to your inbox. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested in digital pathology, which empowers online education for histology and other medical sciences, download the code to get the book. And if you're viewing the recording, thank you so much for being here. And I talk to you in the next episode.